Oh, this is an update on how my ride at the club went. You don't pay much mind to my lacking clothing. I'm about to go to bed, so I don't wear too much when I get ready. My ride at the club went so. I went, and like I said, my friends are sometimes there, sometimes not. Well, this time they were. They being, I'm going to use pseudonyms or nicknames or aliases. Edema. I'm giving them all female names. Why? Because I'm sure they deserve it on some level. Edema is my friend for many years. And Edema's up in the club, drinking just a little bit, like a beer, probably all with something. And Edema is hanging out with his friend Trisha, who Trisha is the current boyfriend of
I just picked my nose in that camera. Oh, Lord have mercy on me.
And Laura lives with Trisha. And Trisha and Laura live with Edema. So Edema lives with his first ex and his first ex boyfriend. Don't judge him. I wouldn't say it's the best arrangement, but I know what they've gone through.
Oh, I still sound country.
A deal of progress to be where they are, so they can actually make that work. Those two in particular, it took a long struggle of years. So don't judge them too quickly. Edema's up in age drinking. Trisha's up in age drunk. Running their mouths and talking at me, and all I'm wanting is to find a song or two.
Where'd I get to be so country?
I'm listening to something. Don't mind. At any rate, as the night progresses, they get more drunk, which, boy, am I happy with drunks. I'm so happy with drunks. And of course, I'm knowing Miss Edema, my friend, who would probably have driven home under the circumstances, which means, of course, I had to drive him home, and he's gotten used to walking back to his car where he parked the next day, so that's fine. He confesses to me why he's so drunk, because he usually tries to, well, you know, an alcoholic, which I would call him, will make efforts to control it, but, you know, they need a lot of help. So, you know, he's made efforts to control his alcoholism many times, but when he slips, it's because of something. So he tells me why he's getting drunk, and it's because his good friend, Serena, who's a very attractive young man, and is just a hooch of hooch. Well, he's a hooch, that's just that. Good, attractive hooch. Well, he's let his friend Serena stay with him because his friend doesn't have quite a place to stay at the moment, so he's being a good friend on a place to stay. And he happens to be letting his second ex, Anita, stay with him as well. I think you already see what's happened. Forget Laura and Trisha, those two are in a different room. Him and Laura, Edema and Laura are fine. It's Anita who he still has, you know, a hard, soft spot for. And apparently Anita has not been, like, responding well to his advances. But Anita seems to be responding just fine to Serena's advances, which is what Edema came to discover today. And that was incredibly painful for him for many reasons. One, the feeling of multiple rejections from Anita, and two, the having to witness somebody like your ex or someone you care for just, you know, and lip lock with someone else. And what's funny is I've never been in a relationship. After 30 years, I know it's a dreadful thing. But I know exactly how it feels. I've only experienced the shit end of everything relationships have to offer without any of the good stuff. So I knew exactly what he was going through, and he was very unhappy and drinking his sorrow away, which self-medication is what alcohol is for unhappiness. And so he wanted a hug and attention at the club, so I gave it to him and gossiped with him and was like giving him a piece of my mind, and how could they do this, and I'm going to chew them out when I get home, which I had decided to do on his behalf, and he seemed rather pleased with the prospect of me chewing out Anita and Serena when I dropped him home. So the whole car ride home, I'm thinking of everything I'm going to say to these two, how disrespectful and shameful and shameless they are, and how I had only a mild impression of Anita ahead of time, but now my impression is just not good. Yeah, it's just all this stuff. Give a piece of my mind. You just your ex's room of all things. You need to give you a place to stay. When I get there, the two are so drunk that Trisha happens to puke in the back of my car, which I was not pleased with. I just wasn't. I don't like that. So I'm discovering that. I put on the whole mad routine so that when Anita answered the door, the ex of Adina, she was very nice and cordial, which I knew Anita back when they were going out, and he's a really nice guy. He's attractive. He's good, but, he was cordial and nice and offered help and asked what happened and blah, 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 and was really polite. I used the excuse of wanting to come in and wash my hands because I wanted to give Anita and Serena a piece of my mind. Apparently Serena was in the bedroom, and this is why I really can't stand it on drunks. A drunk will pass out in public. A drunk will pass out in your car. A drunk will pass out all over your friends and family and wherever else. You get their drunk ass home, they don't go to sleep. They be up till sunrise. Piss me off. The two drunks was up in there, and I wanted to give you a piece of my mind. It just didn't quite seem like the right place to do it. So Anita kindly asked if I needed help cleaning my car, which I didn't. So I said, sure. I was like, Adina is mad. Caught you and Serena up in his room, and it messed him up. And Anita's like, yeah, I know, but I'm just waiting for this explanation. And I look at him like, but? And he's like, there are no buts. He's like, that's right, there are. This is just great, just respectful thing to do in your ex's room. And he's giving you a place to stay. He's like, I know. So that's when I softened up. I was like, I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but that's why he's upset, and what with you being his ex, it's meaningful to him still. So I just wanted to make that story known. I cleaned up the puke from Trisha, who was also unhappy because she's in a current relationship with Laura, and people in relationships are only happy when it's going well and miserable when it's not. So at the moment he wasn't happy. Things that I don't know and cannot give any input on because I just don't know them well enough. And then I come home and find, of course, my good roommate, as drunk as all hell, and I'm just so done with drugs. I didn't start drinking until I was 24, which is very late by most standards when you go to college and high school, pretty much. And I learned to party and have fun and do all kinds of stuff without alcohol, and I didn't care for it. I finally decided to start drinking just because I want to enjoy it for a change. And I do, but thank heavens I don't use it as a form of medication. Can't blame or judge people who do because I use food in that way, and I use attention from guys I like in that way. So I know what it's like to want to make yourself feel good with a bad habit. It just doesn't happen. Maybe alcohol, which I'm proud of, but boy am I done with people who do use it that way. It's really tough, and I'm always the friend that's the designated driver. I'm always the friend that has to clean out the puke the next day. I'm always the friend that has to remind you that you were an asshole the night before, saying terrible things. And I'm always the friend that has to put up with it. So I just wanted to give that input. I had something serious to say this time. Alright, that was my night at the club. The music was okay. Of course, there were guys I like. There's a boy with glasses and spiky hair, and I'm just digressing. This is getting long, but I've been staring at him for years. And of course, he does not exist. He knows I exist. He doesn't give a shit.
It's true.
That's just the way. He's one of millions of men that I've been attracted to who don't feel the same way. Most of them become my friends. So I can't say I can definitely blame Adima for having two of his fucking exes living up with him right now. I mean, I was going to chew them out worse until I found out that he let them two stay there, and then I was like, well, the hell did you think was going to happen? So I couldn't chew him out too much, but I could chew him out enough because still it's disrespectful. Go find a car or a park or something. Do it in your ex's place who's giving you a place to stay, but X was a fool for letting him and his friends stay there and not expecting anything. So whatever, I'm done. and good night. Lord, help me, I make it to that class, which I got to wake up for in about 3.5 hours on time. Lord, help me. Bye.
Start doing what you should have.